Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Auto Club Speedway, another The Sim Racing Network presentation of the Sim 500. Tonight is the Transervice Cup Series coming at you. Like I said, Auto Club Speedway again. For those of you that tuned in last night for the Xfinity race we broadcast, expect to see more of the same. Tonight, joining me again in the booth is Gael Brooks. Gael, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Glad to be back, but at the same time, not glad for the circumstances, Don. I know you're watching, so I hope you're feeling better, man. Hopefully, Brenda's going to take good care of you, and we'll see you back here soon.
Yeah, well, Uncle Runkle says he's feeling under the weather. I think he's just still hungover from St. Patty's Day, but he won't discuss it with me. Anyway, back once again in the production van for us is Aaron Grosskopf. Aaron, thank you again for the pictures you're bringing us, my friend. Well, qualifying's underway, but we were talking about this before the broadcast, Gael. The track is significantly warmer right now than it was last night, and it's daylight, of course. That's going to play into it big time. We expect to see a fuel run. I think you said 40 to 45 laps or so. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think they can definitely stretch it to that 45 or so, especially if they're kind of just trying to pace themselves in the draft. Because with as big as the draft is here, you can save a lot of fuel if you're just being patient. But yeah, I think 40-45 will be the range, and then like you said, with it being daytime, that track temperature is a 109 right now, so it's going to be much different than what it was last night. I think they're going to see a lot wider track today.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you something I'm really looking forward to. If any of you folks that are out there watching now or watching last night, we saw a point in the race about 3/4 of the way through where you would have swore these guys were racing in the last lap, but they weren't beating each other up. But it was just exciting racing, hard, door to door, multiple passes, and I believe me and Gael both at one point in time were fairly out of breath. Wouldn't you say, Gael?
Oh yeah, no, there was a few times I'd say you probably heard me, and I had the microphone keyed up, and I kind of like oohed and awed as things were happening because it's just I got so tense, think like oh no, there's no way they're not going to hit each other, and yeah, they were going at it there in the middle part of that run last night.
Well, like I said, this is round 5 of the Transervice Cup Series here at the Sim 500. So far, we've had two different winners. I'm sorry, three different winners. One multiple winner. That's Daniel Falkingham. He won the Atlanta race, and then he won last week at ISM. Chad Coleman took the opener at Daytona, and then Adam Gilliland, your third winner. He was the winner over at Las Vegas. But tonight, it could be anybody's race tonight. We've seen that. We saw that last night. We saw some front runners that were very strong in the beginning of the race get taken out through incidents and again pit road mishaps, which as we stated before many times, pit road Gael, it tends to bite these guys right in the ass many times.
Yeah, pit road is gonna be critical, and like you said, it'll be interesting to see what the game plan is. I was going around talking to some of the drivers, and some of them are actually gonna plan on taking this like a plate race. So you might not see them up front at the beginning, but they're just hoping to kind of see if what happens yesterday happens again today. I think they're gonna just bide their time and then wait towards the end, and then go after that last half of the race.
That's probably a good way of looking at it, judging from what we saw last night. So let's go over the points real quick. The points leader at this point in time is Dave Comstock. Second's Tommy Ryan. Third is Justin Fuller. Fourth will be Trey Edson. And fifth, rounding out top 5 in the points, is Nick Silver. This is round 5 of a 40 race schedule, I believe. That's a long schedule. So we're going to pull up our in-race reporter. Believe that's the 26 car of. This car makes me laugh. Jose Gonzalez, folks. If you get it, if we get a chance, we're going to show you his car. But it's a unique vehicle, to say the least. Well, not the vehicle itself, just that paint scheme. But let's see if we can get a word with him real quick. Jose, this is John up in the booth. You there? Yeah, I see that now that I pulled him up. He's muted out. Well, we'll try that again later on. I wish my producer had probably noticed that before I went and pulled him up, but that's okay. In the meantime, it looks like qualifying is done, and we've got our grid set. So let's go ahead and run down that top 10 real quick. Josh Parker takes the pole with a 41.116 to his outside Chad Coleman in the 20 with a 41.124. That is 8/1000ths of a second difference.
And row 2, we've got Mitch Rollo in third, and next to him we have Trey Edson in the 40. And like you said, they were only separate by 1/1000th of a second.
And I tell you what, it's good to see Mitch qualifying up front. He was a dominant car in Atlanta and got tangled up, and then was pretty good last week and got tangled up in other people's messes. Inside of row 3 is going to be Doy Woods in the '07 car. To his outside, E.J. O'Rourke, the number 41 in 6.
Around row 4, we have Justin Fuller, and then one of the fan favorites is Kevin DeBrown in 8th place.
Good old Kevin DeBrown. That's another crossover motorsports entry. He and Mitch Rollo. Now, Ben Kilcrease is another entry for that group, but unfortunately, Ben's been under the weather the last few days, so he'll be sitting this race out. Inside row 5 will be Eric Arnold in that 31. Eric was looking good last night until he got involved in the wreck. And Daniel Falkingham, 2-time winner of the Transervice Cup Series, rounds out your top 10. The rest of the grid will stroll by on your screen there. We're going to be going green here in a second. Before we do, Gael, you got any predictions for it?
I think it's going to be a lot to watch tonight. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on all over the field. I think the drivers are going to really need to kind of just give more than take, but it's going to be too tempting to take that big draft that these cars are giving and just try to go to the front. And I think that's where the excitement's going to happen. And I would also watch for turn 2 and turn 4 being where I think it's going to be kind of a snappy loose is what it was sounding like to me from the drivers.
That's what I was going to say. Well, sorry, I was conversing with our producer. Something I was talking to Chad Cole about in that 82 car is that they're saying that about after 10 laps or so, they get wicked loose coming off the turn. So we keep an eye on turn exits. That's something that's in common with these fixed setups, Gael, is they start off a little snug sometimes, and depending on how bad you drive or how hard you drive the car, it loosens up real quick. So we're going to try one more time to get a word with our in-race reporter, Jose Gonzalez, driving that very unique paint scheme. Let's talk to him about that real quick while we have some time. How about you, Jose? This is John up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
So, buddy, you have an unusual paint scheme. Why don't you talk to us about that real quick?
It's my lucky charm.
So Chad the Big Cat Cole is your lucky charm, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we have 4 races this season so far, and I've been wrecked 4 times. So I figure everybody likes Chad, and I just put Chad Cole there and my hood and show my appreciation, and maybe I can get people to keep off my car. It's got its drawbacks. I got a little extra weight there in my car, but I think I can handle it.
A little nose heavy. All right, Jose. Well, you're about to go green, man. Buckle up and get ready. Good luck.
All right, man. Thank you.
And that was Jose Gonzalez, our in-race reporter, with Chad Cole riding on his hood. Here we go. Green flag is out already. Look at that. We've got a big scramble up front. I don't know what happened on that restart, but man, Mitch Rollo and the 23 car of Josh Parker jumped out to a pretty decent little lead there. It looks like, I don't know, maybe the outside roll checked up a little bit, but the 20 car's got his hands full right there. Chad Coleman, he's got Trey Edson all over his backside there. And coming out of turn 2, it looks like Coleman's going to make a dive down to the inside and try and take second spot away from Mitch Rollo.
Yeah, looks like so far hasn't gotten too crazy. There's just right now 2 wide. I don't see any 3 wide action going on yet, which is a good thing. Maybe they're taking it tight, but although I'm right there for 7th place, it's looking really close with E.J. O'Rourke.
As we come down to the trial, well, you'll see 3 wide, 4 wide. Hell, I even saw 5 wide a couple times this week in the open races. It's so tempting. And look at this fight on the outside. Here comes Rollo in the 96, diving to the outside of 1 and 2 there. Doesn't quite get it done. Has to fall back in line with the 23 of Parker. But as I was saying, these cars, this A car, this new package makes it so tempting to really force the issue and take it 4 or 5 wide. It just feels so stable. And to be honest with you, it is a little more stable. This car's a lot easier to drive. Again, Rollo dives down to the inside this time of 3 and 4, and he's going to try and slide up maybe and clear the 23 and take the lead away and give it to Rollo this time by. He's going to take that lead, but on the outside still, using the draft, is the 23 of Parker. He's got the 20 behind him, and the 40 of Edson right up on the bumper of the 20 car like a freight train that you see at Talladega there, Gael.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like this thing looks like it's driving like a plate race right now. And I've definitely noticed that same strategy. There's definitely some drivers that are just kind of riding in the back right now, waiting for things to settle out. Chad Colin, the 82, he's definitely dropped back and just kind of end of the main draft. That way, if anything happens, he can just hopefully squeeze or slide right by it without getting involved in anything.
We'll put Josh Parker, back to the lead. The 23 car there, he's back to the front. And but Mitch Rollo's not giving up down there on the inside. He just needs some drafting help, I think, which is never something I thought I would say at Auto Club Speedway, but it's true. 2 cars, 4 cars are better than 1 car when it comes to trying to pass somebody here. But Big inside has his hands full with Edson and Cole up there, Coleman on the outside line. And we saw this last night. The outside line really came in fast last night, Gael, and really was the place to be if you want to make any passes.
And I'm thinking it's going to be similar here again. Like you mentioned, they definitely need help to get these passes completed, but I think the momentum on the top is going to play a big role. But with as big as the draft these cars have right now, I think a lot of them are just kind of minding their time, trying to put themselves in a good position here. But I think that's going to change with another 5-10 laps when people are decided that they don't want to have Josh Parker lead all these laps and they want to get some for themselves.
We shall see. Now, the way I figure it, if this thing goes green the entire way, we're going to see at least 2 green flag pit stops, possibly 3. It just depends on how fast these tires how fast these tires give up, and how brave these guys are. Now, what we also saw during the week, during the A races for the iRacing official races, was the drop-off was unbelievable. I'm talking anywhere from 2.5 to 3 seconds a lap, depending on how long you stayed on those tires. So again, that's going to play into effect as well. If the leader is the last one on track and doesn't pit for the entire fuel run, he could actually find himself almost a lap down by the time he does go into the pits.
Yeah, there's going to definitely be some fuel strategy involved here. And with as big as the draft is, I mean, you make so much time in the draft with these cars that you might have to think about pitting with other drivers. That way you're not by yourself when you come back out of the pits here. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. I wonder if some teammates are making plans together, and let's see what they're aiming to do. But definitely up front, running real single file up until about the 13th place with Mike Kelly. Looks like that's about where it's getting a little racier, though.
Well, I'm not real sure what happened, but the number 1 of Chris Cabot and the number 26, our race reporter of Jose Gonzalez, have found themselves on the very tail end of the lead lap, not too far in front of our leaders. I'm not real sure what happened there. Maybe we're going back and try and find out. We'll update you folks as soon as we can. But my producer's telling me they started from pit road. So, there's that. Now, Nigel Standish is a lap down, but he had a connection issue and fell out and was able to get back in, but not until he'd already gone 1 lap down, which is lucky for him. If it had happened in the middle of the race, he'd be several laps down. So anyway, back up front, though, Rollo has found himself mired back there in 4th. He lost a little bit of ground there, finally was able to get to the outside. But now, look, we've got Chad Coleman and Trey Edson, 2 teammates, the Transervice teammates there. They're working the back bumper of Josh Parker, trying to make their way past him, Gael.
Yeah, and I'll say that might be another part of the team strategy. Although I'm noticing Josh Parker's running the Transervice car as well. So you've got some good sponsorship money there with our league sponsor running 1, 2, 3 right now.
Well, yeah, they're definitely getting their money's worth with all this television time they're getting. But I'm not real sure what's going on with the 96 car of Rollo, but he is it looks like he's having a hard time getting this car to turn, coming off the turn. Let's keep an eye on him for a few laps and see what's going on with that car. I'm not sure if maybe he's just trying to maybe take it easy on his tires, or if he's struggling with that setup. But he's definitely, he just, I don't know, he looked a little loose coming off turns 2 and 4 last time by. And we're on board now with Rollo, so let's just watch him for a lap and listen to that throttle work as he goes.
Yeah, and you're noticing he's having to mind his gap with the cars around him because, like I said, he's got plenty of momentum if he wants to, but it's just at this point in the race, I think he's just taking his time. So yeah, just kind of pedaling the throttle, probably as little wheel as you can into it, and just try to hold your position until it's time to go.
I'm not real sure what the fixed setup tape is. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I did notice that when I was running A Open this week, I was running with 60% tape most of the time and not getting anywhere near running hot, even when I was up on somebody's bumpers. So, that's something we used to have to watch for, guy, on the past, was watching our water temps and our oil temps and make sure we didn't overheat when we were up on somebody's bumper. But that doesn't seem to be a problem now with this new package.
Yeah, I worry about that a little bit, honestly, myself. I don't know what they set the tape at either, but when you've got, I mean, normally in California, these things spread out a lot more than they are with this draft package. I know it wasn't quite the same in the actual Cup race, but with these guys, these cars are right on top of each other. So I could definitely see if they're drafting close for a long time, I could see some guys getting hot. They'll have to be careful about that.
Well, the only reason I brought it up is if you watch the 20 and the 40 up there in second and third, the 40 is literally bump drafting Coleman. That's Edson in the 40. Trey Edson is bump drafting Coleman in that 20 all the way down the front stretch and all the way down the back stretch the last couple of laps. Just gets right up on his bumper like you'd see at a plate track like you mentioned earlier.
And one thing I am noticing, we mentioned Jose Gonzalez earlier, is I'm looking at the lap times, and even though he's running by himself right now, he is actually the fastest car on the track the last few laps, about 2/10 quicker than the leaders, even with that big draft that they've got going on. So if he can get that timely caution, get back in the field, I think he'll definitely be one to look at because he is making some fast lap times right now.
Yeah, I was just noticing that myself. He was pretty fast last couple times by, which is good for him. That means that hopefully if he gets a caution soon enough, like you said, he'll be able to come back around and join the rest of the lead pack here. But in the meantime, back to the front, as they say. I love that song. That's a good Metallica song, by the way. If you got a chance, kids, go look it up. Metallica, Master of Puppets. It's called Back to the Front. Anyway, I digress. We are about 12 laps in, so we're past the point where most of our in-race guys that we talked to earlier, Gael said that their car would start getting a little slick on them, tires start getting a little greasy. Let's see, our track temperature right now is still 109 degrees. It hadn't fluctuated too much. 110 degrees it looks like, so it's not going to be too bad. But that dynamic sky, with the cloud cover every once in a while, we could see it drop down a little bit, maybe get a little cooler for them, or it could stay sunny like this and just continue to rise. Look at that back there, though. Kevin DeBrown's got his hands full with that, who is that? Doy Woods in the 07? Sure is. Doy Woods in the 07. Now, Doy started 5th, dropped back a little bit, but now it looks like he's making some ground up. He's down to the inside of 93 of Brown, trying to take that spot away, but we've seen it before. It's just too hard to pass down there on the inside. I believe Brown's going to take that spot back and probably keep it. In the meantime, behind those two, you see E.J. O'Rourke in that 41 and the 13 Tabasco Chevy ZL1 of Dwayne Vincent.
Yeah, I'll say they're starting to make the moves, and I think that was what we were thinking could happen. Just let the tires settle in, and then once, hopefully take care of yours a little better than the other guys, and then start making your moves. One who has been making some good moves right now is the 13 of Dwayne Vincent. He actually started in 14th, and he's up to 9th already. And I say everybody in front of him has pretty much stayed within like a position or two of their starting spot.
And just as you're saying that, he's got a challenge from the 39 of Falkingham. Falkingham was last night's. No, I'm sorry, that was Byron Daly at one lap. Falkingham was a strong runner last night, led a lot of laps, but didn't pull it off. He's going to sneak down the inside, try and take that spot away from Vincent. So we're going to see how hard Vincent wants to fight for that spot. If he fights him real hard, that could wear his tires out. If he lets him have that spot, that might help him make his tires last a little bit longer. But it looks like he's going to power by on the outside there, using all that draft of those cars up in front of him to try and keep that spot. Going down into one, though, Falkingham really sent it down there. But look at this, the car of O'Rourke, the 41. They're going to take it. Oh, man, I really thought they were going to take it 3 wide for a second there. But he moves up in front of Dwayne Vincent, that 13. So the 39 is going to try and use him as a pick to take that spot away. This is for 8th, 9th, and 10th back here, Gael.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about, needing the help to finish these passes. It looks like Daniel's got maybe a faster car right now, but when he gets to the straightaways, they're all staying to the top, and he's stuck on the bottom. He just doesn't have that draft to complete the pass. So, and now it looks like he's going to have that spot filled up, possibly by Mike Kelly in the 2.
Yeah, it's really frustrating when you know you've got a faster car and the draft just works against you. But up front, I tell you what, Coleman, I've been watching him for the last couple laps. He keeps pulling right up to the bumper there of Parker at 23. And, oh, look how loose Parker got just now. The 5 cars out of shape. Look at that. 4 or 5 cars just now really out of shape coming off of 2. You said it, man. Right there, 2 and 4 is where they're going to start losing that traction at and possibly losing control of the car. And we just saw that with a couple of front runners. It could be a mess if one of these guys up front loses control of their car like that.
Yeah, so those right rear tires are getting hot, and actually the track temperature's gone up to 111 now, so it's getting warmer, tires are getting warm, and it's definitely starting to affect these cars. And you can see now everybody's starting to jump around and they think now's the time to go and take those spots while cars are getting loose.
Well, Mitch Rollo jumped up there and took advantage of all the checking up from when 23 got loose. So he jumps up to the 3rd when he passed up that 20 car there of Coleman. The 40 car of Vets is in 2nd. Oh, we got somebody bouncing off the wall there. I believe that was the 5 car Let's
Yeah,
see
it was
who
Justin
that.
Fuller in the 5.
Yeah, it was Fuller in that 5 car. Brushed the wall just a little bit, but didn't slow him down at all. He's still right there. But yeah, they are definitely starting to mix it up back here. Especially look at Mike Kelly down there on the inside trying to take that spot away. This is the point in the race where the tires are so slick that it makes these cars a little hard to handle. But that's when the real drivers kind of stand out in my mind there, Gaio.
Oh yeah, no, you've got to be able to handle a car on old tires. That's one of my not my strength at the moment. I'm working on improving that, but it's definitely where you need to improve. It looks like Coleman's rebounding from his little hiccup there and getting back up to the 3rd spot around Rollo.
Indeed, he has. He just zipped right on by Rollo there. It's a combination of being faster, but also, like you said, being able to control a loose race car. That's where the true talent will stand out when you see these guys go. We're here lap 18 coming by to take lap 19 now, so we're halfway through a fuel run. These tires are going to be real slick on them. Look, the 5 car way out of shape again there, coming off a 4, so sideways that you can see his door number in the cars behind him there. He's going to lose a couple spots, but keeps it straight. And I tell you what, that was an impressive save right there.
And they're still stacking up from that. I'll say Fuller was able to sneak in front of EJ, but I don't think EJ had plans on letting him in. But that was almost close right there as well. That was a really nice save by Fuller. But yeah, these cars are definitely starting to loosen up right now on them.
Now, the thing you're going to see is these guys who can't drive a race car like that are going to start ducking in the pits within the next 5 to 10 laps. I guarantee it. So we'll see some guys just short pin just because they don't want to wreck their race car, and they can't handle the looseness of these tires once they get this old. So we'll keep our eye on that. And meantime, back up front, it looks like Parker still has about a 1/10 of a second lead over Edson. But I'm just wondering, maybe Edson's sizing him up, trying to figure out where he's weak at, where a good place would be to pass him. And as I say that, look at this. He's going to send it down there into 1. It looks like, oh, nope. 23 here, cut him off a little bit and made him check up. So he'll probably just gather himself. Man, what a gaggle of cars we have back here in about 7th and 8th, man. Look at that.
Yeah,
wow, O'Rourke got real loose right there.
Yeah, it's getting busy right now. And like you said, right from EJ on back, that's where they're really starting to look after. I'll say the front 2 have kind of snuck away a little bit, but yeah, right here with EJ, Daniel Falkingham, and then also Justin Fuller, that's where things are starting to get really busy.
It's just, I don't even know where to start. There's so many guys everywhere on this track fighting for a spot somewhere that it's hard to keep track of who's doing what, and you got guys bump drafting still. I mean, that's unheard of, at Auto Club Speedway, where they're driving it like it's Talladega or Daytona, but here they are. I mean, that was, that was Adam Gilliland of the 81 there, bump drafting with O'Rourke down the front stretch there. Now we're on the back stretch, and they're going to pull right up. Looks like Kelly's got company in the 15 car. That's Nick Silver, bump drafting him. I never thought I'd see the day, Gael, where we see draft, plate track racing on Auto Club Speedway of all places.
Yeah, it's risk versus reward. I mean, you definitely can gain some good time on the straightaways with the push, but yeah, you have to be careful. This track is not very smooth anymore. It is a bumpy track, but I think up front, though, I think Trey Edson's either sizing up Josh Parker or he's just going to try to stay on him and try maybe see if they can sneak away from Chad Coleman in 3rd and maybe be able to get a little bit of breathing space on from the rest of the field.
And you were right. I mean, we really haven't spread the whole field out a whole bunch. I mean, there's a huge gap there from let's see what spot that is. Is that the 45?
Yeah, it looks like there's a gap
car.
between, the 48 and the 34. There's about a second
about
between
2 seconds.
second and a half.
Sorry, second and a half. You're right. Of a gap, but not much. And the rest of it, these guys are just up there duking it out and everything. So, I think what we're seeing there is from Sean Bounty back, 17th and on back. Those are the ones that you were talking about at the top of the show. Just gonna kind of ride it out a little bit and take it easy and see where this ends up going. Man, who we haven't talked about a whole lot is Comstock. Comstock's another one that is usually up front somewhere, but he's way back there in 39th, 31 laps behind the leader, just in front of the leaders here. Gonzalez is now the last car in the lead lap, Bo in front of him, and then you got Comstock and Boris Cook.
And actually, you mentioned Comstock. I'm looking back at it, and yeah, he's got some serious damage on the car. He does.
Wow. I'm not real sure what happened there, but you're right. He's got significant nose damage on that car. Well, that's unfortunate because he's usually one of our stronger runners there.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early, so I mean, it's with as well as these cars draft, if he can get it fixed up enough and get that timely caution, I think he still might have a chance at least salvaging a good finish, but he's going to definitely need to have some luck with a caution here before too long.
Yeah, because he actually started in 31st and had worked his way up by lap 10 or so into top 20. That's the last time I saw him, was he was up there in the top 20, and I'm not real sure what happened with him. We'll see if we can get an update on that for you real quick. It was I found it right here in the replay here. It looks like the 63 car. Oh, that's Boris Cook. We were just talking about him. He got turned by the it looked like the 83 car. They got together on the back stretch and turned down in front of Comstock, and that didn't bring out a caution, believe it or not, but Comstock got a big chunk of that inside retainer wall there. Cook was able to drive away with minimal damage, but that's where Comstock got his damage from, so that's why he's so far back in the field there, which is unfortunate. But like you said, hopefully he'll get a caution where he can get in there and get some of that damage fixed. Now, in the meantime, we started this race, Gail, with 43 cars in the field. The 83 car, who I was just talking about, Jason Barham, has retired his car. He's pulled it behind the wall, and I believe so far that's going to be it. That's just the only one we've had drop out.
Yeah, it looks like things are starting to string out, but they're starting to move around more too. You just saw Trey Edson using 3 and 4.
Yeah, I was listening to our producer folks. Sorry about that. I got a little distracted there, but it looked like Comstock had almost a little run-in with the one car there. I think the one car is probably showing some tire wear, made his car just a little bit slicker than he was ready for it. They didn't have, no incident happened there, but it was worthy. The reason we bring that up, folks, is Dave Comstock is one of the stronger drivers here in Sim500, and is usually known for taking care of his tires and just kind of hanging out mid-pack or so until the last half of the race, and then he comes on pretty strong. But that's not going to happen today, I can promise you that. Not with the damage he's showing on the front of his car. Meantime, we're here at lap 26, coming by now. Let's take lap 27 out of 100, and we are caution-free so far, knock on wood. Hope I didn't just jinx him. Josh Parker's led the whole way so far. But, we got guys like Edson and Coleman and Rollo chomping at the bit to try and get by him. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to leave it on corner to corner so you can see all the action. Hopefully nothing will happen while we're gone. When we get back, we'll give you a rundown and probably start looking for some green flag pit stops pretty soon. Stay tuned to the Sim Racing Network.
The cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Isn't arsenic rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to the Sim Racing Network's
Oh, I think our main announcer may have lost his internet connection here, so I'm going to try to hold the fort for now. So we've got lap 30 right now, crossing the 31, and some people have started doing their green flag pit stops. A little bit of a short pit strategies, they can go about to lap 40, 42. So I saw Mike Kelly's the first one in, and it looks like Sean Casto as well has short pitted, so it's going to be interesting to see what their lap times are looking like after they finish their pit stops here. But up front, though, you still got Josh Parker just trying to hang on in front of Trey Edson, and I think our man is back in the booth. Let me check.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to go grab me some Crispy Crunch. I'm back. But anyway, I tell you what, the huge difference here in speed between Mike Kelly and everybody else has not pitted. Like you covered a minute ago, Kelly was our first taker on pit road. But since then, we've had several cars ducking down pit road, going to get those tires changed out. And we kind of talked about that, though, Gael, that the fact that even though they can go 42 to 46 laps on fuel, doesn't mean they will go that far on fuel. It just depends on how far their, let's say, their tenacity will take them to be kind about it.
Yeah, it's a definite risk versus reward there. But yeah, we've seen now Justin Fuller was in as well as Anthony DeBarro, so they're also pitting right around that third. Looks like they're trying to pit in third. You've got a couple more peeling off right here as well. You've got the Adam Gilliland and you've got E.J. O'Rourke, and you've got a few more following him in as well now. You've got, let's see, Nick Solomon and Nelson Rivera, Timothy Johnson, Dan Denayer, and Randy Yoakum are all pitting right now. So yeah, these guys are pitting exactly on that 1/3 race distance.
Well, to put it like this, last time by, our leader's pace speed was 43.5. Last time by for Mike Kelly was a 42 flat. So big difference in speed right there. Now, Kelly's got to be careful. He's catching some of these cars really fast, especially in the turns. Like right there, he's going right by the leader now to unlap himself. So he's back on the lead lap. And right as we say that, it looks like second place, the second place car of Chad Coleman and Trey Edson. Those guys have ducked down pit road. So Parker's out there now by himself. Should be pitting pretty soon. I wouldn't stay out too much longer.
I think he's going to have to react to this because, I mean, like you said, that there's a big tire difference right there. And I think if he's going to want to try to hang on to this lead, unless he's banking on an untimely yellow, I mean, like we talked about last night, I mean, it worked for Kyle Busch. And so, I mean, it could definitely happen again. He could trap some guys a lap down. But it's a risk versus reward because if he stays out, let's say 5 more laps, he's going to lose, what, 10 seconds probably in the leaders.
Absolutely. He's losing about a second and a half a lap right now, and his tires are steadily dropping off. I mean, at a fast pace. There goes Falkingham ducking down to the pits now. So I think that's, there's not many cars left that have not pitted. And if I'm the leader, Josh Parker, who's led this entire race so far, I'm thinking about pitting as soon as possible now.
Yeah, right now it's Parker, and then I'm not sure who's left that hasn't pitted. Chad Coleman, it looks like, has not pitted as well. But there are not many that are left. Pretty much, I think just the top 5 have not pitted. Everybody else is in.
Been a good race so far. Lap 35 out of 100, caution free. Parker's led it the entire way. We had some dicing and slicing earlier on, but it's kind of leveled out there, Gael. Nobody's getting crazy. Dwayne Vincent's made his way back in. Unfortunately, we were covering this earlier. Vincent, and there's our leader on pit road, and he brings second place within Coleman. They're both on pit road. We'll watch this pit stop as we go. Make sure they don't make any mistakes here. As I was saying, folks, we don't have like tire failures and parts failures in iRacing. We have internet failures where it's all of a sudden your internet connection can take a crap on you and you come back in 5 or 6 laps down. And unfortunately, Dwayne Vincent's night was ruined by that. He was doing good running in the top 10 there, and he lost his internet connection, but he's back in now. We'll see where he comes back. In the meantime, our leader is on pit road, handing the lead over to Jimmy North in that 48 car, who was also very close to going a lap down earlier, but I think he's going to... Oh, look at that. Coleman missed his pit, slid through his pit, still trying to get into his pit box. I think he's finally got it right there, but that's going to cost him big time on track, whereas our leader of Josh Parker's on his way out. Coleman's pit stop is just starting, so he's going to lose a few spots there, and that's really unfortunate. We talked about at the top of the show, pit mistakes, pit mistakes, pit mistakes.
Yeah, but while you're watching them, I was watching Jimmy North, and they just put him almost 4 wide entering turn 3 there, trying to get their laps back just in case the yellow does come out. So he was lucky to get through without anything happen there, but that was pretty close entering 3.
That was pretty tight right there. Well, our man is back on the track, Parker. Wow, look at that closure rate. The 27 almost ran him over. That'd be Anthony DeBarro in that Coors Light car. I'm not sure if that's for position or what. We're going to have to let it cycle back around to see, but man, I thought for sure the Coors Light car was going to wind up sitting in the back seat of that ZL1 there, man. That was close.
Yeah, you gotta be careful when you get out of the pits there, because, like you said, there's a big speed difference getting out of the pits. These cars take a little bit more to wind up all the way in qualifying. Actually, they've been treating them like a plate race, where you just run the first lap to get the car wound up, and then go for it on the second lap. So, yeah, you have to be careful there.
So we'll update the standings here shortly, as quickly as we can. We got to let this thing cycle around a little bit more. Jimmy North is still leading this thing. His last lap was a 43.7, so that leads me to believe that he has not pitted as of yet, nor has Calantoni or Shane Ewing in that 37 car. I'm sorry. Yeah, in the gosh dog it, 32 car is what I'm trying to say.
Well, it looks like I'm looking at the lap times as well. I believe actually the leader, once everybody cycles through, is going to be Mike Kelly. I think that short pit he did actually paid off really well. Where I'm not even sure what position he came in from, but he's going to cycle out with the lead right now. But he's got Adam Gilland and Trey Edson hot on his heels.
Yeah, it looks like he had a 14-second pit stop. If I'm reading that correctly, I'm not real sure. But yeah, once this all cycles through, I'm looking at lap times. Boris Cook hasn't pitted yet. Wortman hasn't pitted. Cohan, Wetzel, Roth, Ewing, Calantoni, North, all those guys have not pitted yet, which makes me wonder. Soon, I'm sure, but they are losing so much time right now to everybody else on track who's got those tires. My goodness, that's a bright car, that 48, that Ally car. You looking at that?
That is a very colorful car, and yeah, I think you're right. At this point, I mean, they've made their bid. I think if they've stuck it out this long, they've just got to run it all the way till it's dry and see if they get that timely caution. Or unless they got some serious fuel saving going on here, I don't think they can make it a one stop, but maybe they're thinking something that we're not.
Well, we have seen, actually, I tell you what, Guy, I don't know if you saw a race a couple weeks ago we had, but Comstock, I think it was, went almost 13 laps further than anybody thought he could on fuel. So that could be another thing. I mean, stranger things have happened. If they can stretch this thing out another 10 laps, they can make it on one stop, which I think would be outstanding. Even though they're losing ground pace-wise on track, if they can do this in one stop, they got the field beat. So we'll see how that pans out. In the meantime, cars left and right are just unlapping themselves here. Here comes the Hitman Raceware car. Fixing to pass up our leader. That's the 4 car. And that's going to be, that'll be Gillenwater is what I'm trying to. Thank you very much, producer man. You're on ball. You didn't get up to the booth. Help me out here. So we'll put Gillenwater back on the lead lap. So that's an interesting strategy, I think, that we got North and group playing here, was to try and stretch this thing out.
Yeah, it looks like with the new tires, though, Mike Kelly's short pitting it worked, but it didn't work exactly how I wanted to. As you got Adam Gilland and Trey Edson are able to get around him, and say they're running about half a second quicker than him, just like we mentioned with that new tire difference. They pitted maybe, let's say, 5 laps later, but it was enough for them to just swing back by and say they're working on getting back to the front here.
And they're both running about a second and a half faster than Jimmy North right now, but they're 20 seconds behind Jimmy North. So really, I'm very impressed with what North's trying to do here. If he can stretch this thing out to lap 50 and make his gas last all the way to that point and do this in one stop, that's going to be impressive. It just, I can't help but wonder, come lap 50 where he's going to wind up as far as if this thing goes caution free or not. But we'll find out. We've got lap 43 in the books right there, folks. That means we got about 58 laps left. And that was a tight squeeze right there. That 19 car got real close to that back bumper of Jimmy North, our leader. That 48, that 19 would be the Gabriel Perry vehicle, Fresh Cut sponsorship, Fresh Cut Deli on there. And here comes Dwayne Vincent, that Tabasco car. We were talking about him earlier. He had a strong run going, but right now he finds himself 6 laps down. About to get one of those laps back as he passes up Jimmy North there, Guile.
Yep, Dwayne's, I'll say he's just got to try to recover, get the best he can there. And like you mentioned with Jimmy, I mean, he's got a nice gap, though, on the guys behind him. He's got 4 seconds to second place, so his lap times are actually looking really good compared to them. But like I said, it just depends on his fuel, but also really depends on what's going to happen. Like, I think obviously once he pits, he's going to get laps, so then he's got to really hope for it to stay green long enough for them to have to pit again. Yeah, like I said, he's made his bet. He's going to have to line it and then hope that it works out the way he's aiming.
Not real sure what happened just now. I saw a puff of smoke out of the car in front of Jimmy North there. Oh, that was
maybe Dwayne
Vincent again.
Up, speaking of, here comes Jimmy North, though. He's entering the pits there. Lap 44 coming to 45.
Oh, so much for stretching it all the way out, huh? But
Well,
still,
for him,
he can do it in 2 pit stops versus the 3 that everybody else got to do it in.
Well, I'm saying that's the thing is he can get to about lap 90 now on this. So, I mean, within 10 to go, people start getting pretty aggressive. So it could still pan out. You never know. Keep an eye on his pit stop here. Looks like he hit his marks really nicely. Getting the right sides on. Just waiting for them to come around and get the lefts on. He's down and he's away as a clean stop for the 48. Now I just got to try to blend in with the track, and I can see a few others entering the pits behind him here. You've got, let's see what we've got here. Brian Wertman, Chris Gabot, and Nigel Standish, but I'm trying to see where the other leaders are. Looks like, let's see who's still up front here. Doug Roth is still running right now up front in the 43 cars, as well as Wetzel and Nick Cohan. So they're still stretching it. They've actually gone a little further than the 48. So we'll see. Maybe they're aiming for that lap 50 mark.
Well, they're getting pretty close to it right now. Ross on lap 46. Like you said, he's got about a 1.7 second lead over Wetzel, and then Cohan back there in third. Anthony Calantoni fourth. The first car that has been on track now for a while with tires will be Adam Gilliland. And Gilliland now has about 14 laps. Yep, Roth's on pit road now. So he got really close to that halfway mark. So these guys are playing a very interesting strategy. If this goes green the entire way, this could well pay out for them in a pretty, I wouldn't say a win, but definitely a damn good run.
Yeah, and I'm listening right now to the 9 and the 21 as they're entering turn 1. And from where I'm standing, I don't know, I heard those cars get pretty quiet in turn entries, so I'm wondering if they're shutting these motors off and letting it idle entering the turn, just save that little bit extra. So I think they're really going after this lap 50 mark.
Yes, absolutely right. I'm looking at Cohan now. He's cutting his engine off and then back on, so he's definitely stretching this thing out. Now, in front of him, though, Bobby Wetzel's on pit road. The 9 car's on pit road, but Nicholas Cohan stays out. Now, he's got a 5-second lead, it looks like, over Adam Gilliland now. So, I mean, that's really impressive. There goes the 89 car passing him up. But, yeah, watching them, he's killing his motors going down. He learned that one from Comstock. I guarantee you that's what he's doing.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I mean, he's out of 2 right now, and I mean, you've got Adam Gilliland and Trey Edson and brand new tires running 2 seconds lap faster than him, so it's very likely he'll get lapped. Obviously, once he gets up to speed, he'll be a lot faster than them because he'll have brand new tires while they'll be on 15, 20 lap old tires themselves.
I was going to say, I mean, they've already been out for 48 some odd laps on their tire, not 48 laps, but you know what I'm trying to say, about 18, 20 laps on their tires. So,
and I say we're crossing 49 here, and I say, so I think he's getting to that 50 mark, so he's going to have to save this whole next run as well, obviously. But I think, obviously, you've got his game plan. He's going to the end on 1 stop.
Hey, man, that's impressive to watch right there. We're going to go on board with 21 here and just watch and listen to his motor. He's going to cut it off really early coming down in turn 3 here. You know, traffic be damned. He doesn't care. Now, Adam Gilliland's closing on him pretty quick. Adam's about a second behind and closing in, but look at that. Cuts the motor off, cuts it back on, and back up the speed right there. So that's very impressive to watch. I'm so impressed with what Cohan's trying to do. Oh, and here he comes. Now that he's hit lap 50. He's coming down pit road to gas her up real quick. That's impressive.
I mean, he hit it to the mark. I mean, so he's going to have to save hard this run here. And I say if he can catch a draft with somebody, that'll work even better where he can save fuel and follow somebody and save his fuel a little better. However, he's going to have such fresher tires, it's going to be hard for him to stay behind him because this car's going to be so much faster.
And also, another thing, I mean, he hit his pits great. Hit his marks good, got in out and got out smooth. Make sure he doesn't speed. That's another thing he's got to pay attention to. But I'm just really impressed with the fact that he was able to pull that off. And another thing, if we do have a caution pretty soon, he could actually look at maybe taking 2 tires. Depends on how hard he drove this car between now and the caution comes out. So there's so many options now available to this 21 car of Nick Cohan. Even though right now he's probably, like you said, going to go a lap down, but he's got those 4 fresh tires versus other guys out there that have been out there for 18, 20, 16 laps on their tires, he'll be much faster than him. Right now, there goes Trey
And they
Edson.
just went by right there. So
Right
actually,
there, yep.
he'll be in really good shape. All he needs is probably one lap here, and he'll be able to get back by those leaders and get his lap back, and then from there just start saving.
Yep, and he's already up on the backstretch, coming up to full song right there. This could really work out well for him, but he just needs to pray that there's no cautions from here on out.
Yeah, at this point, best case scenario is either yellow coming out right after the leaders pit or it going green all the way. And so you see Bobby Wetzel here, he's working on the leaders, getting his lap back. He also pitted just 1 or 2 laps earlier than Nicholas Cohan. So I don't think Bobby's going to be able to make it all the way. I think he's going to need that timely yellow. But at this point, at least, though, he was able to get his lap back right there in ring 1.
So right now, folks, what we've got is Adam Gilliland, the new leader in the 81 car. We were right. It cost Josh Parker way too much time for him to stay on as long as he did and go with the pit strategy he went to. He dropped from 1st down to 6th. He's back up to 5th now, but it cost him. So Adam Gilliland's leading. Trey Edson's in 2nd. Falkingham's 3rd. Mitch Rollo is in 4th. That's our very own producer, Mitch Rollo. And like I said, Josh Parker's in 5th. That's your top 5. The rest of them are going to scroll down to the bottom of the screen there. But really, it's just Gilliland and Edson fighting for this lead. And you got to wonder how hard they're going to fight. They realize right now they got a 2-second lead over everybody behind them. They really don't have to fight too hard right now. They can just kind of cruise around and let these laps wind down.
Yeah, I think that if they know it's good for them, they're just going to cruise right here, just kind of take their time, let the other guys fight behind them, and and it's possible that maybe Trey Edson's just saving some fuel as well, so he can maybe look at maybe not having to obviously go the distance, maybe put a little less fuel and make his pit stop quicker, and that'll get him through faster.
And you know what I noticed there also was Cohan was taking it real easy getting by these guys, trying not to burn his tires up too much in too much of a hurry to get by them. So that's a real smart move on Cohan's part, just taking it easy. He knows he's got a faster car than these guys right now just due to the tires only. Puts himself on the lead lap right there. If he sticks with his guns here, man, I'm really impressed with this gamble that he took. That's just, to me, I would have never thought of that myself, Gael, to be honest with you.
No, he had this strategy from lap 1 of the race, and actually I'm noticing now he's actually catching Bobby Wetzel, who's on a similar tire strategy as him, so he can probably save him even more just following Bobby here, and that might get him that extra fuel he needs to get to the end without any troubles.
This is going to be great. Well, folks, please don't forget that we have what we call the triple threat of broadcasting here at the Sim Racing Network. You can find us on Facebook Live, search for the Sim Racing Network. You can find us on YouTube, also search for the Sim Racing Network. And finally, Twitch. I don't Twitch a whole lot except for in my sleep, but that's a horrible joke. I'm sorry. But anyway, no matter what your platform is, you can find us on those 3 social media platforms and follow us, give us a like, set yourself up for notifications to tell you when we go live, and you'll catch all this excitement. We have several races a week that we broadcast in, not just these big cars here. We'll be doing Xfinity races on Sundays starting next week. We got truck races on Wednesdays. That's WCI Parts races on Wednesdays. We have the Hitman Racewear series on Sundays. That's for Sim500. We also do Sarah's short track Dreamer series on Thursdays. That's with super late models, and I'll tell you what, that's a fun one too. So tune in to whatever you want to watch, and keep your eyes peeled on us, because we'll be cranking up some more series here in the next few months. In the meantime, back up front, it's still Adam Gilliland and Trey Edson 1st and 2nd, but Falkingham's cutting that lead a little bit there, Gael. He's got it down to about 1.8 seconds.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty much spot on to what he was doing last night. He didn't start as far back today as he did last night, but he's making his way up to the front there. Doesn't even need the drafting help. He's got about a 10th or so up on the leaders. I've been watching, actually, he's a little bit further back here, around 7th to 11th, it looks like, with Kevin DeBrown, Joey Woods, Mike Kelly, EJ O'Rourke, and Justin Fuller. They were going at it pretty hard there, trying to position themselves into getting a better spot ahead of each other, and they were getting pretty racy there. I say they single filed out now, of course, now that I mention it, but yeah, they were going at it.
Once we put the camera on them, ain't that the way it usually works? But it's what I find remarkable right now about this run so far that we've got going is that I know we've been harping on this, folks, and I'm sorry, but it amazes me that this is working out for him like it is. But Nicholas Cohan, again, yes, he's on the tail end of the lead lap, but he's not even driving his car that hard right now. Look at that. His lap times are only 43.3. That's the same as the leaders that are right behind him. He's doing that on purpose. We know that he is, because he's keeping himself on the lead lap in case there's a caution, but he's also taking care of his car, his tires, and his fuel. This kid is brilliant in my book. This just makes him a freaking genius in my book.
I said I think it might be worthwhile if we hop on board with the 9 of Bobby Wetzel, because I said I think they're on the same strategy here, and I think if we listen to him, I think we might hear some quiet cars entering the turns again.
Let's take a look. Coming down that back stretch here, we're on board, and yeah, well, they're not turning them off, but they're definitely clutching. Putting the clutch in right there, coming back out of it right there, just enough to keep themselves ahead of the leaders, like you said. And my God, these two are just. This is one of the damnedest things I've ever seen at Auto Club Speedway, guy. I'm not even going to lie about it.
I mean, like I said, they had this game plan from lap 1 that they could make this thing on one stop. And we talked about 40, 45 laps. If you're saving, again, they go 5 laps further than what we thought was possible. I mean, I don't think I'd have not the patience,
but I
don't think I could do that from lap 1 to lap 100 here. I don't think I could endure that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but we're back to our leaders. Adam Gilliland in the 81 and Trey Edson that 40. Edson just gave a shot to the back bumper going into 3 of 81. Not sure if he did it on purpose or if maybe he's dozing off at the wheel there, but that they both got loosened up just a little bit there when that happened. In the meantime, Dan Denayer in the 10 car has pulled his car behind the wall, so he's the next one to drop out of this race. I'm not real sure what happened with Denayer there, but that's bad to see. I feel bad for Dan. He's always involved in somebody else's mess in these races, just looking to make his luck a little bit better, but not to be tonight for he's retired his car. But yeah, that shot up. I don't know what happened there into the bumper of our leader Gilliland there, but man, I mean, he just, I thought they were going to wreck each other. I really did.
I'll say if they start messing around with each other, that's great news for Daniel Falkham as well as Mitch Rollo. Mitch has actually been closing the gap as well. He's within 3 seconds of the leaders now, and he's been running just as fast, if not a little bit faster than him. So I think he's ready to start showing his stuff as well.
Yeah, it looks like it. You're right. I was just looking at, boy, Rollo's got a lot of damage on the rear end, though. Did you see that?
I did not. I'm going to have to take a look there. No, it's looking, yeah, I'll say it's looking good on mine, so.
It must be a glitch. I apologize, but on my screen, he's got some pretty significant rear end damage there. The crossover incorporated is all wavy. That's crazy how I can see that and y'all can't. But
one thing I do see though is Josh Parker. Actually, he's got some right side damage. So when some point between the pit stops and then when he got into that pack of cars, he must have gotten a little bit of a wall off of 2 or 4. His right front definitely has a crinkle to it, so that's not going to help his cause for trying to get up to the front there. But yeah, I think I see some pit stops starting already. Let me see who that is entering right now. It's Sean Casto in the 52 Jack Daniels Chevrolet.
Jack Daniels, now I'm thirsty.
Saying he was pitting from the
Another
top
bad joke.
15, tap 20. I say, I don't know if he made it into his pit stall, though. He may have overshot it a little bit. Yep, he's backing it up.
Well, that's unfortunate for him, but yeah, this is about the time we saw pit stops last time too. So here we go. You know, some guys ducking in now to get some fuel and tires, but you know, and I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but that Cohan and Wetzel, those two have done everything they can to keep themselves just in front of the leader, stay on the lead lap, and they're still saving that fuel. This is going to be really, really interesting to watch. In the meantime, Gilliland and Edson are right on top of each other back here, and just behind them is that 63 car of Boris Cook. Now, Boris is a couple of laps down, I believe, 1 lap down, so he's just trying to get himself back on the lead lap. He probably just pitted and took some tires and everything, so we'll keep an eye on him, see how that works out for him. He's right now shown in 33rd spot, which means Cohan and Wetzel are in the last 2 cars on the lead lap. Comstock's a lap down. We got quite a few cars that are a lap down, but right now Boris Cook up, and look at that. Edson,
here come the leaders.
And Gilliland are now on pit road, so they're pitting now at lap 63. We got a couple other takers coming down with them also. It looks like back there
Mitch
is going
Rollo
to
and
be
EJ O'Rourke. They're joining
Rollo's
in.
on pit road.
And that's a perfect plan there for Mitch. He was gaining on him, but you don't want to lose that time on the old tires to the new tires. So as soon as he saw them in, he just jumped in right with them.
Absolutely correct. That's great thinking. That's going to put Falkingham now up to the lead, 4 seconds ahead of Nick Silver in the 15. And once again, you know, green flag pits. I'm really impressed with this. I'm glad to see good long runs. I mean, yeah, it gets a little boring for our viewers, but for us up here in the broadcast booth, it adds so many stories to the track. You got guys that are on, and here goes Falkingham into the pits now. So
Yeah,
many guys
can't
on
waste the
different
time.
tire strategies and fuel strategies, and it just really mixes things up, and it makes you keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, no, it made perfect sense for Falkham to pit there because you don't want to wait too many laps. You saw what happened. You wait too long and it winds up biting you. So yeah, he came in right away next lap.
So that puts Kevin DeBrown, another crossover motorsports driver, up to the first place. He's got the lead now. Mike Kelly right on his back bumper. Chad Cole in third, Eric Arnold fourth, Nelson Rivera in that 22 car in fifth. But this is in the middle of green flag pit stops. We got 4 wide back there behind them on the backstretch. Can't really tell who that is from where I'm at right now, but man, they're mixing it up. There's, like I said, there's all kinds of different pit strategies and tire strategies and whatnot going. And here comes Kevin DeBrown into the pits now. Oh, that was the 22 car of the 27 car. DeBarro just slicing in and out of traffic there. So he's got some really fresh tires coming around these cars with older tires on them. So move Mike Kelly up to the lead now. Mike Kelly in lead, followed by Chad Cole. But again, we're in the middle of green flag pit stop, so we're going to take a little bit of a break, folks, and let this cycle through and see who winds up where. My bet is we're going to see Nick Cohan and Bobby Wetzel up front again. But we'll be right back. We're going to leave it on corner to corner so you don't miss a lick of the action, and we'll be back.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And welcome back to Auto Club Speedway, the Transervice Cup Series Sim500 race, brought to you by the Sim Racing Network. And right now, Eric Arnold's our leader, but we're just about at the end of green flag pit stops. Right there, you see Mitch Rollo unlapping himself. That's Mitch coming back around, put himself back on the lead lap, which puts Mitch at about 26th place right now. But again, we're kind of in the middle of a really odd set of green flag pit stops, Kyle. It's about the best way to explain it.
Yeah, it's a lot of different strategies going on right now, and I'm having a hard time making sense of who's where and everything. I need everybody to pit so I can figure out what's happening here, because it looks like Adam Gilliland and Trey Etzern are actually running 4th and 5th now, and they've already jumped Bobby Wetzel and Nicholas Cohan, who are on the saving fuel strategy. So I'm trying to figure out how they were able to still have so much time, unless maybe just with that saving fuel, it slowed them down too much, where it wasn't actually as beneficial as we thought it was going to be.
Well, I don't know. I really don't know what happened to those two. I don't know. I'm speechless because the way we were looking at this a minute ago, they should have had quite a huge lead over those guys, but they're getting passed up left and right now, and that's because they have not pitted in quite some time. They haven't pitted actually in 20 laps. They've been on track, but if math is correct, then everybody should be good on fuel now, and somehow they've really kind of put themselves in a bind, and I don't know how that happened. I'm clueless.
Yeah, I think there's 3 more that are up front that haven't pitted, which is the 30 of Eric Arnold, the 32 of Shane Ewing, and then the 89 of Brian Wortman. And then from there on back, it's the guys that have pitted, of course, but then you have to include Bobby and Nicholas in 13th and 14th who have not yet pitted. But yeah, just definitely did not go how I thought it would for them. I expected them to be in the lead after this all cycled.
Well, look at this, 4 wide right there. 4 wide for just a second there with the 88. What is that? 93. They're going to do it again here. 20. Oh, goodness gracious. Bump drafting even.
Wow, that's getting intense right there with the 80 and the 93 and everybody. I was saying that's the thing is, that might be what they're banking on, just trying to get that timely yellow. That way they still stay on the lead lap and then they can get their fresh tires. They don't have the track position they want though.
Yeah, they were. Well, they're still cruising through the corners, like really, just getting off the clutch. Clutching in and letting the motor rest, and then coming back in the gas, coming off the turns, which is saving the fuel. But they've lost so much time now; it's pointless. I really don't see what the point was that they're going to do. But hey, we got a race going on. Eric Arnold has himself a 10-lap lead over Shane Ewing right now. But again, Eric Arnold has not pitted yet. Matter of fact, the last time he was in was about lap 34, it looks like. So he's been out for a while. Behind him, Shane Ewing, he pitted about 28 laps ago. And then, Edson and Gilliland, they've been on track for 10 laps now since their pit stop. So they're 17 seconds back there behind him, 16 and a half now. They're catching Arnold pretty quickly. So, once he goes in the pits, it's all over for him. He'll be falling back to probably good 20-25 spot.
Yeah, I'll say he's definitely he can't make it to the end here. I think he's same thing, just banking on that timely yellow, because if there is a yellow that comes out, he'll be pitting along with everybody else because they've already got 10 laps in their tires, and there's no way anybody's going to stay out with that. So it looks like Bobby Wetzel kind of gave up the plan on staying out, unlike, I believe, Nicholas Cullen's still sticking with it. But yeah, it looks like it didn't go to plan for Wetzel.
That's a bummer. I'm really kind of disappointed in that. I would like to have seen that work out for those two, the way they were driving that, but it didn't work out for them, and actually wound up costing them quite a bit now. They're almost a lap down to the leaders. Once these green flag pit stops cycle out, Arnold and Ewing come down, it's going to put Edson and Gilliland and Falkingham back in your top 3. And man, we are really spread out right now, Gael. I'm just really surprised at how spread out this race has gotten.
Yeah, I say green flag pit stops, they'll have a habit of doing that. I'm saying I'll have to go back and check, but I think something must have happened to Nitrolo because, like I said, he pitted with the leaders, and now he's way back on them. So I'm wondering if he had to maybe do a drive-through pass-through or if he missed the stall or not. But I'm going to take a look back, see what happened there, because he should be right there with them as well as Daniel Falkingham. And I think right now, though, I think Trey and Adam are just working together here, trying to prevent adding a third party to the fight here for the win. That way they'll just fight it out themselves with, let's say, 5 to go or so.
I'm looking at Mitch's pit stop, and I think he stayed in to get some damage fixed is what happened.
Oh, I would have, yeah. For a green flag pit stop, I don't know if that's the right call to make, but he may have been affecting his car worse than I noticed. But I thought he was making good time there. We'll have to check with him at some point.
Yeah, he stayed in and got some damage fixed, so he's paying for it. He's back there in 20th now, 34 seconds behind the leader, Eric Arnold. But again, once Arnold pits, that'll change. He'll still be a good 20 seconds, though, behind Edson and Gilliland. I'm wondering how far Arnold's going to take this thing. I mean, he's really he's not going to benefit in any way, really, by staying out this long. If he pits now and gets back out on track, he might be able to make up 5 or 6 spots from the people that have been out longer than him with those tires. But he's getting down to the point where we're going to be 20 laps to go here shortly. This is just too big of a gamble to make, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think it's one of those make your bed and lay in it. I've done stuff like this before. I like to go off strategy myself, and you just get to the point where it's like, well, I've gone this far. Let me just run it out and hope for a yellow. I've had it work before. Sometimes I've been burned real hard, and sometimes it's actually paid off really well, where I wind up getting a clean pit stop, get myself back out and lead, and then try to just maintain it. So I think that's what his hope is right now, and it's hard to say. I mean, like you said, they are really spread out, but there's also still a few pockets of cars that are really going at it. And again, these things get loose after a few laps. It's still 111 degrees on the track.
So real quick, if we can there, Mr. Producer Man, can you put a camera on that car 26? He is unscathed. That big old beautiful face of Chad Cole is unscratched. He's back there in 26, but I mean, you know, he's got no damage on his car. And I just can't get over that paint scheme.
The car's really looking clean. It looks like he's got a little bit of stubble on his face now, though. You might have to have a shave after this one.
Yeah. Though. And there's Gottschalk. I love Gottschalk's car also. Steve Gottschalk, he's poking fun at us with that one, the Crayola Chalk car, but it's one of my favorites on track. But anyway, just, you know, looking at some cars for the field here. We got some really, really great paint schemes out here in the field, and I'm really impressed with the fact that Chad Cole's face is still unscathed there.
I mean, Jose was saying he was having bad luck, so you got to try something. I was saying, here comes 31 entering the pits.
Yep, Eric Arnold leaders finally on pit road. Shane Ewing stays on track and will inherit the lead. However, he's got Adam Gilliland and Trey Edson right behind him. Those two will overtake him shortly. They've been on track a lot less than he has with those tires, and there they go. Gilliland down the inside. He'll take first away, and it looks like Edson's going to wait a second. He's going to gather his car back up, coming down the backstretch, probably duck down inside of Ewing going down in turn 3 and take that second spot away. And if I'm Ewing right now, I'm getting ready to pit as soon as these guys get by me.
Yeah, but and one thing we had noticed too is actually Adam Gillen was able to get back around Trey Edson, who had been leading the group earlier. So I think Adam maybe was saving his tires a little better than Trey there. But again, I think for Shane Ewing, he had a few less laps on his tires than Eric Arnold did. So he's still got a few more laps he can go. Again, maybe if a caution comes out, he'd be pitting from 3rd place instead of from 20th, let's say. Plus, it gives him some TV time. I say show off that Rayovac Camry that he's got.
Well, you know, I'm looking at this, and if he plays it smart and runs his car like we saw Cohan and Wetzel doing earlier, where he's clutching in. Well, he's not. I'm looking at him now. He's staying in the throttle. If he played his fuel mileage right, he could stretch this out and actually finish in a pretty decent spot, because he's got almost a 10-second spot over Doy Woods and Nick Silver back there. He could come home with a top 5 if he plays his fuel mileage right, but the way he's driving it, probably not.
Yeah, I think it's going to be too much to stretch. I think he could probably go another... Actually, you know what? He could almost make it. It'd be tight, but there's a potential. But yeah, like I said, that car's not going silent right now, so I'm thinking he's just going to run it out, and then maybe he'll do fuel only or 2 tires, just to shorten that time in the pits, though.
We'll see how it pans out for. In the meantime, our leaders, Trey Edson and Adam Gilliland, after all those crazy, long, weird green flag pit stops we've had, it looks like they've got a pretty decent advantage over the rest of the field. Falkingham is really their nearest competition. He's 3.5 seconds back. Doy Woods is in 5th, 10.5 seconds back. This field has really gotten spread out, caution-free this entire race so far. So that's got a lot to do with it. Now, we started this race again with 43 cars. We still have 36 on the lead lap, and we've had 3 cars retire. That's the 8 car of Randy Yoakum, the 10 car of Dan Denaire, and the 83 car of Jason Barham. They're all out behind the garage wall there, but everybody else is still on track. That's 40 cars still on track. That's not bad at all.
No, I say it's gone way greener than I thought, which, I mean, that's not a knock on these guys. That's actually awesome. I'll say I apologize for kind of guessing the wrong way there. So props to them for proving me wrong.
You and I have we were both experiencing the A car. It's just this new package. It makes this car, I hate to say this, but it makes it a lot easier to, well, not drive, but save when it gets out of shape. It's easier to save it. You and I both know that, you know, prior to this build, once this car started to get out of shape on you, it was very, very difficult to catch it again, and that's really helped with this. So we can say that it's both the drivers of Sim500 being pretty damn good drivers, some of the best really, but it's also this new build making this car so much easier to catch once it gets out of shape.
Yeah, say one thing I noticed is I keep commenting on they switch positions. I'll say Trey Hudson and Adam Gillen switched 1 and 2 again. And I went back and looked, and actually just Adam moved over and let Trey go. So I think they're just kind of, like I said, treating this like a play race, just drafting together, trying to keep Daniel Falkingham out of the picture here. That way they can fight it between the two of them. Because the top 4 are within 3 seconds of each other, but then you've got 5th place that's over 10 seconds behind the leaders. So if it stays green, it's going to be a 2, possibly a 3-car battle, but I think it's going to be between Trey and Adam if things stay as they are right now with 15 to go.
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. To be honest with you, I look at it going like this. If it continues in a green right now, I'm calling our top 3 is going to be Edson, Gilliland, and Falkingham. Falkingham has pretty much caught Shane Ewing is what I'm trying to say. He'll be passing him up shortly. Actually, there he goes right there. Passes him up and takes that 3rd spot. Brings Vincent Williams. Dwayne is unfortunately 6 laps down due to a failure of his internet. But there you have it. That's going to be your top 3 if this continues the way it goes. Ewing's been out for a long, long time on his tires and his fuel. Now, whether he can make it on fuel or not, we don't know yet. That remains to be seen, Gael. But he's got a pretty good shot if he takes care of his car and eases on and off that throttle enough.
Yeah, he's been doing a really good job keeping good care of it. I say, and I'm watching a little further back. I was looking in 7th place with, we had the Jose Gonzalez, and so let's take a look at Chad Cole. He's running up in 7th position now, and he's been running some really good lap times, even just on his own, about 3/10 quicker than the leader. But the problem is he's so far back, and I think his strategy of laying back, expecting those cautions, came back to bite him, unfortunately. Otherwise, I think he'd be playing a role in this one up front as well.
Absolutely, and what's really impressive is the fact that, like we touched on, these guys have gone green the entire way. That's almost 88 laps now that we've gone green, and no issues, no big wad ups or anything. That's great. That speaks volumes of these guys. Folks, if you're interested in getting involved in this, it's really easy. You just go to iRacing.com, figure out what package you want. The first initial package comes with all kinds of neat cars and stuff, street stocks, and you got all kinds of vehicles, not just NASCAR. Once that gets set up, head over to Sim500.com and check out what they have to offer. There might be a series that you could sign up for that you'd be interested in signing up for, and make sure you pay a visit to the Transervice website and give them a nod for supporting these guys and sponsoring this series. And don't forget, we also have our triple threat of broadcasting. Look us up on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Give us a like and a follow. Set your notifications up. That way you'll be notified whenever we go live, like I am for some odd reason. I get notifications every time we go live in my mailbox, even though I'm a damn broadcaster, but that's okay. I like it that way.
Yeah, say they're still running 1-2 here up front with the 40 and the 81. And yeah, it looks like Daniel Falkham's just kind of holding touch with them about 2.5 seconds back, but I don't think he needs help to get up there, unfortunately. And so I think these two, Trey and Adam, have been playing this perfectly. And my prediction is within 5 to go. Usually, because you don't get that restart if it's within 5. That's when they'll start going after it. That way, it shouldn't give Daniel enough time to catch him, and then they can just fight it out between the two of them.
Real quick, I want to give a quick shout out to Joey Jatina in that 14 car. He's riding right now in 22nd spot, but take a look at that car. That's a throwback to Tony Stewart's Busch Grand National car when he first started racing in NASCAR for Joe Gibbs Racing way back in the day. It's a good-looking race car. Joey's riding along. Looks like his car is pretty much unscathed at the moment, knock on wood. He needs to get with his painter, though, and let him know they got a new template out because the backside of that car is a little wonky, but it looks good otherwise. So I just want to give a shout out to Joey real quick. Looking good back there in that car. Now, back up front, we have one hell of a fight going on for our lead. Edson's got it. Adam Gilliland might be thinking about taking it away because we're coming around to take the flag for 10 to go here shortly. That's them coming through 1 and 2 right now, coming down the back stretch for lap 90. Next time by, through the 3 and 4 on the front stretch, taking the 10 laps to go right here as they cross the line. So I'm betting that we're going to start seeing things get just a little dicey up front.
Yeah, and Trey's actually opened up the gap a little bit there to about that 2/10 or so. And unfortunately, it looks like Shane Ewing just entered the pits here. He tried to stretch it as far as he could, but he had to call it there. And we'll see if it's fuel only, if he's going to get tires. But yeah, it's not going to give him those results he wanted. But he made it was a good strategy to give it a try. Like I said, I would not have guessed it had gone green this long, but again, props to the drivers and to this league for putting on a great show here, keeping it clean and green.
Absolutely. Right now, we're looking at 28 laps on the tires of our leaders. So we're well within the window of these tires getting greasy and getting real loose on them, as we saw earlier. So that might be playing into Adam Gilliland's head that, hey, right now I've got a great podium finish. Do I really want to press the issue to try and take the win? Or do I want to ride back here in second and just take my top 3? I mean, they are racing for points. This is a long, long season these guys run, and points absolutely matter in the long run.
No, I think the biggest thing is they want to be interviewed by you, not by me. So I think that's going to be where the pressure's coming from.
Well, I'll tell you what, and that's true. Our producers point out a fact they're also teammates. Now, something I haven't touched on a whole lot yet in this broadcast. I touched on it at the very top of the broadcast, but our point situation. Both Dave Comstock and Tommy Ryan did not make Tommy Ryan didn't make the race. Comstock got taken out very early on in an incident on the backstretch. So he's our points leader. So there's going to be a huge change up in the points once this race is over. We'll try and get that updated as quickly as we can. In the meantime, back up front, it looks to me like maybe Gilliland is just going to be complacent, and okay with riding back there behind. I don't.
Okay.
I'm sorry, folks. I had some whispering going on in my ear there.
My apologies. I'll say that was part of me off the microphone. I'll say I don't know all the details in the series, but I do wonder. I would like to guess there won't be any team orders, but I wonder if there's any auto advancing if they win a race here too. So if Adam's already won a race and Trey hasn't, which I'm not sure on the details on the stats, but that could play a role into it as well.
I'm not real sure, to be honest with you. Yeah, neither one of these drivers have won yet. Again, the winners we've had are Chad Coleman at Daytona, Falkingham at Atlanta. Gilliland did win. I stand corrected. Gilliland won at Vegas, and Falkingham won last week at Phoenix. So I don't know. Maybe that's what they're thinking. We could probably talk to Joey after the race for a couple minutes and see how that goes as far as, is there an auto advance or not. But we'll figure that out. But in the meantime, Falkingham has not really broken much of that gap there, Gael, between himself and second place of Gilliland. He's still about 2.5 seconds back.
Yeah, we're at that magic 5 lap to go mark, though. So if I'm psychic, we'll see here. But I think this could be where things get a little bit of a pickup here. I say Chad Cole's moved his way up to 4th place now after starting 28th. Again, I think he just took it too early, or too easy, too much too early. But I would say he's recovered to a 4th place right now. But again, he's 10 seconds off the lead, though. So I think fourth's going to be the best he can do unless something else happens up front here. But I think we'll see. I mean, one of the keys for racing your teammates is you can race them, but don't wreck them. So we'll see. We'll see what these two do here in the closing laps.
We've seen it happen, actually, not in this series, but we've seen teammates take each other out before. But I don't think it's going to happen tonight. I think you were right the first time around. I think that Gilliland's looking at the fact that he's already got a win in the series, and his teammate does not. However, my goodness, he sure got it right up on the bumper just then of Edson. And really, really starting to get a little dicey there, like he maybe want to take that lead away.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be strategy again. Like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to save my stuff here and then make the run for it there. Like I said, he's right on his bumper entering 3 here.
Coming down in turn 3 and 4, they'll be taking the flag for 4 to go this time by. And I'm really thinking maybe Gilliland is saving his stuff, trying to figure out a way to get around the 40 car without wrecking him.
Yeah, I mean, if I was in the same boat as them, I would be just right until you can make it. If the yellow brings it, or yellow comes out, that's it. So now would be the time that I'd start pushing after it. So we'll see. And it looks like they're moving around a little bit more in the trial too, but trying to cut the draft a little bit. So I think they're going for. I don't think there's going to be any team orders here. I think each of them want to win this race.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking. Oh wow! Look at how loose the 40 car got coming off of 2 just then. Not quite sideways, but definitely broke traction. And like I touched on a few minutes ago, they're at 34 laps on these tires. These tires are well worn. Our track temperature has dropped down to 110 degrees, so it's still a pretty warm track, greasy track, a lot of rubber on the track. That's where that big wide black marking is there through the turns there, where all the rubber's been laid down. So these tires are definitely at the extent of their limits. So here we are, 3 laps to go. Can Edson pull this one off, or does Gilliland have other things in mind? We're going to find out. Gael, what's your prediction here, buddy?
I have a feeling Trey's going to be able to hold them off. I think if that's going to happen, I think Adam's going to have to try to work that top like we talked about, get that momentum. But I think it looks like to me Trey's been holding a really good line, but he's just got to be careful because he did get loose off 2 the last time by. So I'm saying there you go. He's looking up top. So I don't know. I think Trey's gonna be able to hold on to it, but I think Adam's gonna give him a really good run for his money here with coming to 2 to go.
Gilliland got a really great run through 3 and 4, especially the exit off right there, but not quite enough to pull up to that bumper. Right now, 2 to go right there. That's it, folks. Popsicle sticks are out for these two guys. Going down into 1 and 2 one more time. Gilliland pulls right up on the outside, just to the edge of the bumper there. But look behind them. We got a couple of lap cars, it looks like. Maybe we can have fresher tires, maybe trying to get in the way of this fight. I hope they don't. I hope they back off and let these two go at it. Coming down the backstretch, the 40 car still maintains that lead. Edson's out there just a little bit over. Gilliland takes that car high into 3 and 4. He's going to try and arc that thing through there. Maybe get a really good run coming off of 4, but he looks like he loses a lot of ground right there. Not a whole lot of momentum gain. Matter of fact, he lost a lot of ground right there coming out of 3 and 4 down the front stretch through the tri-oval for the last time. White flag is out. Edson still has that lead, but look at this. Down to the inside comes Gilliland, back up to the backside, right on the bumper of the 40 car of Trey Edson. Coming through 1 and 2, they're both right there. Down on the inside, down to that white line there. Gilliland pulls up just a little. Look at this. The 43 car is going to poke his nose down there on the inside of the 81. Kind of messes up the line a little bit there for Gilliland. I think that's probably going to do it for him as Edson pulls out just a little bit further. But it ain't over yet, folks. Going down to 3 and 4 right here. You see that 81 stalking him right there in the middle of the high line, trying to get a really good run. Coming off of 4 for the last time, though. Looks like checkered flag's going to wave over Trey Edson in the 40. He's going to take the victory. Behind him, his teammate, the 81 of Adam Gilliland. 3rd place goes to Daniel Falkingham. 4th place is Chad Cole. And 5th place goes to Nate Silver. That's it for the race, folks. We're going to watch the 40 car of Edson burn those tires down. I'm quite sure we're going to leave the corner while we do that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have interviews with our winner. Try and get our hands on Joey Jatina, the leader here of Sim500, get some confirmation on how these guys advance to the playoffs. But man, I tell you what, green flag, checkered flag, nonstop, no cautions. That was a great race, Gael.
That was a great drive by all those drivers. I say they definitely proved me wrong there, but they did a really good job. And I say Trey and Adam, they worked it to perfection. They're working together until the end, and just see who could get the finish there. And I say Trey was able to pull it off there.
Well, that's going to do it. We're going to go ahead and go to commercial real quick, folks. Leave it on corner to corner so you can watch these burnouts by the 40 car of Edson, and we'll be back.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Sim Racing Network's presentation of the Transervice Cup Series Sim 500 race here at Auto Club Speedway. 100 laps, caution-free. One hell of a good race there. Our winners and second and third place drivers are standing by. I believe, as a matter of fact, that Gael has found his way down there, and is right now he's got Falkingham cornered. What you got there, Gael?
Yeah, I was able to catch up to Daniel Falkingham with the 39 Chevrolet Camaro, so I just wanted to talk to you again. I'll say another interview with me 2 days in a row. It's not too bad. How'd you feel like your race went there?
My race went pretty good. The race overall, just from start to finish, that went way better than I thought it would. I was awesome going green in the end. That shows the great group of guys that we're racing with, especially with this new package. But yeah, race was overall good. I think just racing in the pack, I kind of got helped in the pack. I could have qualified a little bit better, but I was kind of taking it easy, trying not to get loose or spin out, because that's what I was when I was practicing by qualifying trim in practice earlier. I was just trying to figure out qualifying, and then when we got to the race, I just getting stuck in traffic because it's pretty hard to pass with this package because it's all about momentum. And yeah, kind of got hung up at the tail end of the top 10, but then once I started getting by those guys and there was incidents happening in front of me, I was missing all the incidents, and I was able to get up to 5th, and I was even passing. Well, I probably could have gotten by Mitch, but he pitted. But I had a really good long run car. I think I was one of the best on the long run, especially on that first run. And then just the rest of the race with Adam and Trey working really good together. Just tandem drafting. We were matching lap times. I was only catching them when they weren't tandeming because I had the fresh tires in them, like 1 lap, 2 laps most of the time. But yeah, congrats to Trey on the win. Overall, really good race.
Yeah, I was noticing that Trey and Adam are working really well together on those runs there once it got spread out, and I say it looked like you were able to hold right with them. Just you just needed, if you could have had a helper yourself, I think you could have definitely got up there as well. But yeah, no, it was really impressive that everybody was able to run caution free here. I heard the same thing about the getting loose on the exits, but I'll say everybody did a really good job tonight, and I'll say it may have been a few people who kind of played it safe, but you did just like last night, just kind of climbed your way up there and made it all the way into the podium again. So any shout outs, any thank yous you want to go while you got here?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank First Rate Bait Lobster 207 for their sponsorship, for their support. Also got to thank Cameron Colby for doing my paint for the car. Also got to thank Joey and everyone at Sim500 for all they do for this league. Also to Transervice for sponsoring this series, the Transervice Cup Series. A lot of fun to run in. Also got to thank you guys at SRN for doing the broadcast stuff. Got to thank my parents, my grandmother for watching. Also, I want to shout out to Brandon Bowie, David Comstock for actually talking to me about this league, getting me interested. So shout out to them, and also shout out to Dwayne Vincent for helping me out there towards the end of the race, trying to give me a little help from behind, trying to see if I could catch Adam and Trey. But appreciate his help, and appreciate everyone who watched the race.
Sounds great. It was a good run. So I look forward to catching you guys next week, and look forward to having another good run over there.
Yep, thank you.
And that was our third place finisher, Daniel Falkham. Thanks for the interview there, Guy. Real quick, I'm going to give you time to run down there and catch up with the second place runner of Gilliland. Just a couple quick notes. The points have been updated. And, man, I tell you what, Edson takes the lead of the points with that win. Silver climbs up 3 spots to take second. Fuller remains in third. Comstock drops all the way down to fourth, excuse me. Falkingham's up to 5th, but the biggest loser, it'd be Tommy Ryan, drops all the way down to 6th place. 6 points down to 8th place, I should say. And I believe, Gael, you've caught up now with Adam Gilliland.
Yeah, I caught up with Adam here in the 81 Chevrolet Camaro as well. So Adam, I'll say it looked like you and Trey had a pretty good game plan there for the race.
Yeah, it was kind of unintentional, actually. I started back there pretty deep in around 20th, and we had some good fortune on the restart. I was able to knock off some spots initially and get up to, I think, maybe 14th, which was big because it's very hard to pass out there with this new package. These cars are very aero dependent now, so you want as much clean air on the nose as possible, and the further you get up in the pack, the easier it is. So definitely benefited on the initial start to gain a few spots, and after the initial round of a green flag pit stop cycle, it just worked out. We came out nose to tail and cycled 1-2, so it was pretty easy from there.
So you guys kind of, once that happened, you guys just talk to each other, say, all right, let's just stay in line here and make sure it's between the two of us?
Yeah, no, definitely. Trey and I have been good buddies for a while, and we're teammates, so we had a mutual agreement to just kind of ride in line and try to get away from Daniel. But Daniel did a good job keeping us on our toes, keeping us honest. So good job to him and coming home third.
All right. Well, I'll say before we let you go, any thank yous or shout outs you'd like to say while you got the chance?
Yeah, just got to thank Gary Mercer Trucking, been a long time supporter of me. Obviously, got to thank you guys for putting this on, and at our Sim500 for putting this on as well. So really appreciate it.
That was a great run for the 81. Adam Gillen finished second tonight, but I'll say you'll know he'll see him up front again for future races.
That's right. He's been looking pretty strong the last couple of weeks. Well, I have made my way down here to Victory Lane and caught up with tonight's race winner, Trey Edson. Trey, man, hell of a good show out there, bud. Flag to flag, no cautions at all. What do you think about that?
I love it. Green flag racing's my thing. Toot my own horn there, but I'm pretty decent at saving tires. So, yeah, I don't.
You think?
I'm not really good at the whole 10-lap sprint thing. But yeah, it was. We kind of got going, and the to put it nicely, I think a lot of us thought it was going to be a poop show.
Yeah, we heard that
Joey
a couple
said
times.
that in the drivers' meeting, so I kind of didn't know. We got 10, 15, 20 laps into it, and I was like, okay, we're kind of spreading out. This league has historically, once you kind of start the green flag pit stops, we usually stay pretty green. I don't know to credit to the package, whether I wouldn't say it's easier to drive. It's different, but there's not much horsepower to get these things loose. I don't know if maybe it's easier for some of the other guys not to spin out. I don't know what to give credit for the green flag racing.
We were talking
a wide track maybe.
You know, we were talking about that. Me and Gael. This package, it's easier to catch the car once it breaks loose on you versus the old package where once this thing broke loose, you were gone pretty much. But yeah, I think the package. But don't knock yourselves, man. The Sim500 group, man, you guys just continue to impress week in, week out with the driving abilities and the skills.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at my history here. I've been in the league about a year, and when I first joined, I came on like gangbusters. I mean, I was winning races left and right, and now I wouldn't say it's a lull because I'm still running good. I'm just not going to victory lane quite as much. So the competition has definitely stepped up throughout the field. So Joey's got a good thing going. So I'm not going to knock the field. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I didn't turn a lap with this package really until we got in there tonight. So it was something different. Adam worked with me. We've been a long time teammates. So he worked with me on pit strategy, and then we drafted together. Just kind of figured it out as we went.
Well, with tonight's victory, congratulations. You've taken over the point lead. Granted, we're only 5 races into it, but that's pretty substantial. You jumped up 3 spots in the standings there. Do you have anybody you want to thank for your victory tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Glenn and everyone at Transervice, they jumped on board for it. We got to Daytona, and other than I think it was Atlanta, I ran really bad. Other than Atlanta, we've had a great season. I think it's top 5 everywhere except Atlanta. So it was pretty cool there. We were 20 laps in. They're not teammates of mine. I would say we're like, I don't know how to, partners or friends, distant friends. But Parker was leading. Coleman was second. I was third. So that was a 1-2-3 for Transervice there. So that was good exposure for him. Got to thank you guys for always doing a great job broadcasting these races, and thank Joey and everyone at Sim500 for putting all this together.
Well, thank you, Trey, for taking time out of your victory celebration to talk with us. We'll let you get back to it. And remember, if you're going to drink tonight, drink one for your old buddy John.
I got you, man. Appreciate it.
There's your race winner, folks, Trey Edson, and also the points leader now of the the Transervice Cup Series Monday night series here. He's got a nice little lead, about 7 points. Now, granted, we're only 5 races in of a 40-race schedule, and it's just only going to get harder from here on out. These guys, like we touched on there, Gael, some of the best here in sim racing, and tonight they showed it with an outstanding run. I mean, man, Auto Club Speedway, you heard him. Everybody thought this was going to be kind of a poop show, as he put it, which makes me chuckle, but it wasn't. It was some outstanding driving. There was some hard driving, was some passing going on. A couple of guys got real loose. We saw that a couple points in the long run there, and we're able to just catch that car and continue on, which is what I love about this package.
No, these guys put on a good show. I'll say that, like I said, they proved me wrong. They did a really nice job there. And yeah, I'll say with the hot temperatures and everything, I mean, yeah, they were amazing. I was really impressed with everything they did. And then, like I said, Trey and Adam they nailed that strategy to perfection.
Yes, they did. Well, here's our top 10, folks. Trey Edson, of course, is our winner. Adam Gilliland second. Daniel Falkingham brings it home in third. Daniel's been on a run of top fives lately. He's looking real sharp in this series right now. Chad Cole in fourth. Fifth was Nick Silver. Doy Woods was sixth. Seventh was Mike Kelly. Kevin DeBrown. Oh, Kevin DeBrown got himself a top 10. He comes home in eighth. Anthony DeBarro ninth. And your top 10's rounded out by the 41 car of E.J. O'Rourke. The rest of the field's going to scroll by there. Tell you what, Gabe, no, I'm sorry, Gael. I was looking at a message here. We go from here, this big 2-mile speedway, to 200 laps at Martinsville next week. That's going to be a handful with these guys. I don't care what kind of package you're running. Martinsville is always a high temper, high carnage track.
Yeah, they're gonna need to kind of keep their emotions in check there. I'll say that's an easy one to make some enemies, even for unintentional situations. So, yeah, that's gonna be a challenge for everybody. I say there's a lot of opportunities there to get in trouble, but if you can just keep it clean, that's when it's almost kind of a wild card as well, like the plate races. So I'm curious to see how that one plays out.
Well, this is the point in the broadcast where I normally go over some stats for the race, but there's really not a whole lot. The average lap time was a 43.8 due to the fact that we had no cautions. 100 laps caution free. We had 14 lead changes. Fastest lap of the night was done by Jimmy North, a guy that we thought had a pretty solid strategy going on, but it just didn't work out in his favor because there were no cautions. But he ran a 41.2 for the fastest lap of the night, and that's some pretty good stats. It's, I believe, one of the first caution-free races I've broadcast for these guys so far. One of the better races in my book. Now, Gael, we're going to be heading out here shortly, but do you have any final thoughts on tonight's race?
I thought these guys put on a great show. So again, congrats to Joey Jatina and then everybody at the Sim500 group here. Again, I've had a blast filling in here. Don, again, I know you're watching, so hope you're feeling better soon. Look forward to hearing your voice on here as well. And then John, yeah, thanks for getting me up to speed with everything. Like I said, it's really exciting to see this different view of things. I've always done it from behind the driver's seat, so be behind the booth has definitely been a new experience for me, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, Gael, my friend, we've had a blast having you up here in the booth with me. It's been fun. I'm sure we'll see you again. Don't stray away too far. And as far as Don goes, don't buy it, man. He's not sick. He's just hungover. We know the truth. But anyway, folks, that's going to do it for us tonight. But before we part ways for the evening, I just want to remind you guys to keep Ben Gilcrease, my fellow broadcaster and the founder of SRN in your thoughts and prayers. He's having a rough time right now. Got a loved one that's a little on the sick side and dealing with a lot of health issues. And Ben's run all over the country doing officiating for a speed series. So he's just really had a rough few weeks really. Just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Give him a little positive energy sent his way. Now, folks, as always, please be safe on the roads out there. Put the phone down. Whatever it is you're doing, talking or texting or looking at Facebook silly pictures, it can wait until you get to your destination. Please smile more often, love each other, and God bless all of you. For SRN, I'm John Mushin Jr., Guy L. Brooks, and Aaron Groskopf down the production van. Y'all have a good night.